hello. How is everybody doing tonight? Let's get the cameras pointed. There we go. Welcome all. Thanks everybody. Let's see who all is here. Let's see if this thing will give me the participant list. Let's see. We got Craig, welcome. Oh, I'm here. That's cool. The crew from Symptoms of Reality, thank you. Luke, good to see you. And Uncle Chrome Paul, good to see you tonight. And who else? I thought I saw some other folks running on. Let's see, Music Beat On is here. And I saw Jeff earlier. He had to run off for a few moments. He'll be back. And let's see. Let's go back to the chat. And I know there were some other folks who came through or were commenting earlier. Harmonic Sonics, good evening. Good to see you. Let's see who else is here. Let's scroll back. I get to scroll back. You don't see what I scroll back. So, yep, that's it. Everyone's here. Cool. Thank you all for coming. So, looks like stuff works tonight. So, let's go. Yeah, we're going. We've been going. Who's that? CYO. Yep, we've been going. We've been going for 11 minutes now. So, howdy. Howdy, Rourke. Good to see you. Harmonic Sonics, I think I said hi, and I think that's everyone for now. I don't think anyone else. I don't think I've missed anyone else. So let me put the program monitor up so I can see things on the big screen. And yeah, man, I'm rolling everything. Love to play with the mods. Let's see here. Let's get a better shot up here. Well, I think it's a better shot. Anyway, you may not. So, anyway, here we go. Interesting night. So obviously things are working better tonight than they worked yesterday, and that's a good thing. Unfortunately, Music Beats On is the Netherlands. Cool. What happened? Oh, Luke asking what happened. So, I don't know what happened yesterday, Luke. I have no idea why I could not stay connected to the server, and I could get on. Well, I didn't even launch because I could not stay connected to Ninjam. Yeah, the gremlins, as Jeff and I were chatting about that earlier. The gremlins, and they got wet. So. I don't know, because I went over to Uncle Chrome's house after I gave up on things, and we worked on some stuff over there, which couldn't get working quite the way we'd hoped either. It was just one of those kind of days. But I came back here, I had some dinner, and walked back here in the studio, and I didn't even turn anything off, or at least didn't turn the computer off. So I came back in here, loaded up the project from the it was supposed to be the Ninjam project, and everything worked. And I was on, I logged to the Ninjam server, and I was on for a good 25-30 minutes. Nothing. So there were no problems, and everything worked perfectly. So and I even did a private live stream while I was doing it. I checked everything. I basically did the entire thing. I didn't try it today, so I don't know what it was up to today. But it was there were a couple problems yesterday. Not just me. I was who was it? I think Quasar was also having problems. He had problems earlier, like the night before, but. They got themselves sorted. It was ended up being Jeff, Quasar, and Dr. Syntheo, and they had a great jam, I'm sure. I went down to Uncle Chrome's. We worked on some stuff for our local jam that's going to be next week, and got some stuff set up over there. He was shy of inputs on his system, so I took one of my mixers down to add to the mess. In case we couldn't get his other mixer going, which we couldn't. So one of my mixers is down there for now until we get everything sorted out with the mixer that he wants to use or the interface that he wants to use. Rotating gremlins like a punk band. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so you know, I don't know. Like I said, they got wet, so I'm not sure what was up with the deal. But it was a little. I was more than a little disgruntled yesterday by the whole thing. But you know, stuff happens, and yeah, pretty much. He's got all kinds of stuff at his place, and so Bananarama. My gosh, that's a Bananarama. I haven't heard that in a long time. So anyway, okay, so let's get on to tonight's show. Hey Biscuit, welcome. Good to see you. And he couldn't resist, Luke. He just couldn't resist coming over here. So, whoops. Got a new. Ooh, that's not good. Got a new phone. Got upgraded from the Mini because I wanted a little bigger screen and I wanted a better camera in the phone. So, I will serenade you to sleep. How's that? So, iPhone 16 Pro. I'm Andy. Like Andy Craig. Well, so you know, it was. I guess it was Synthetic and I were up until 5 o'clock our time the other day in the morning, just running our yaps mostly at each other. So. Yeah, I didn't even bother. I almost didn't go to sleep. Yeah, where is Wabbit? Wabbit, where are you at? You were here earlier. I thought. I don't know. Yes, that's correct, Luke. Synthetic is other Andy. No, not that Andy, Craig. A different Andy. American Andy. What is you Domino Pizza are all corrupted? What? Okay. Anyway, damn Wabbit. So anyway, cool. So I want to get into. I got three things I want to jabber about tonight. No, 2.5. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, first thing up. So last week, and kind of last half week on last Friday night, I did a. I've been streaming a bunch about the multi-poly, and I made some comments about the keybed, and we were talking about, I was talking about how it's improved, how it's better than the original keybeds from the original Op6 and the original Wave State, and somebody took me to task about the definition of what a keybed is in the comments, and so I did a little digging because that's what I do. Yes, I was taken to task, Luke, and so this is like I said in the Discord. There's a pedantic alert going on here tonight. So we're going to talk about what is a keybed and what is a keyboard and all of that stuff, and we're going to clear it up. So I have prepared graphics, and if I can get them to come up, here we go. We get to talk about keybeds. So 3 different things here. Okay. So, I'm not sure the best way to describe this, but what you're seeing here is 3 different. I am the key master. Dag nabbit. So what you're looking at here is the keys from a few different instruments here, and we're going to talk about what the keybed is, what the keyboard is, and how that may have changed over time. Yeah, so I didn't even play the Op 6 during the intro tonight, CVO. I'll play it later. It's actually got a pretty cool sound in it, and I just didn't get there. So actually, none of these are really a piano action, waterfall, or synth action here. This is not. That's not the part that we're going to discuss. What we're going to discuss is, like I said, what is a keybed? What is a keyboard? How is that defined? And what what changed? So the keybed on a piano or a let's bump the graphic here. The keybed and pass-fail hammer. Okay, so in a keybed, and this doesn't really show it well either. So let's go back to the other graphic. On a piano keyboard, if you look at these, the Dr. Synth, welcome. Good to see you. If you look at the three pictures here, if you look at the one on the far left, you'll see there's a strip of wood with a green felt pad on it. And traditionally in a piano, there is a strip of hardwood that goes across the entire keyboard assembly with a felt pad on the top of it. And what it does is that's the bottom of the action. That's as far down as you can push on the keys. That is the key bed. It is the place where the key sleeps. And that technically is the key bed on a piano. On an electric piano, traditionally, it's a metal bar with a felt strip or some sort of a foam strip on top of it. And by definition, for a long time, that was the key, that one part was the key bed. That didn't do a good job of taking into account things like pump organs or other organs, which have a completely different key bed design, and it didn't take into account synthesizers. So there was a lot of question about what is a key bed, and so over time. So the only part of it that is the keyboard is the actual keys. Everything else is some other part. And so the next iteration of the key bed was where this graphic comes in. So the key bed on this is a cutaway drawing of a Roland synth keyboard. And USA take. Okay. Yeah, how do we do that? Because we're not gonna have that tonight. Tell you what, music beats, chill. All right, take a chill. And take a chill. So anyway, back to the topic at hand, and I will keep an eye on that. In this case, we've got, like I said, a cutaway of a Roland keyboard, and I'm going to do something here real quick. If I can do it in the real time here, I'm going to do something real quick. I don't know how to set this up on the fly. That is standby, folks. We're going to. Yeah, that's what I need. That is not what I wanted. Shoot. This is something I'm going to... Unfortunately, no, I don't. And that's what I'm working on setting up real quick. Or trying to. I can... Let's see. What if I turn that on? And do I even do that? Here we go. Boom. And let's see. Stand by, folks. Oh, that's what I want to do. I'm going to do this to someone who knows how to deal with this. As soon as I find them, I'm going to highlight, go here. I'm going to click this button, and for the time being, Luke, I think I'm doing this right. And Luke, you've got the spanner. I'll just say that right now. Luke, you've got the spanner. You may have to refresh. I don't know. So anyway, that's right. You're the only one allowed to be the annoying. Well, you and Wabbit, right? Exactly. So anyway, okay. So back where we were. Sorry about that, guys. We will make sure that's not a problem again tonight. So anyway, if you look at this thing, the easiest way to describe this, there's a little yellow bit and there's a little black bit and there's a little white bit there that's labeled aftertouch strip. On this particular keyboard, that's where the keybed would be traditionally, and that's so the idea is you push down on here, and thank you, Luke, I appreciate your help. When you push down, it hits the bottom, and you push down a little further, you get your aftertouch. Okay, so and so over time, the keybed came to become known as the entire mechanism except for the keys. And more lately, after about, say, I don't know, 2005 or so, the industry kind of sort of just went away from using the nomenclature of keybed or keyboard keybed separately and just started calling the whole shooting works, this whole thing, keys, all the stuff, everything was now referred to as the keybed, all of it, and that gets to manufacturers of keyboard assemblies, whatever. After about 2005, they pretty much all just started to have to do this, or start calling it this thing, the keybed. So that's being as we're talking about modern. Okay. Interesting. I've completely derailed my train of thought. This is the keybed. That's right. No, I'm not afraid to go into tech weeds and dig down. But so anyway, being as we are talking on this channel anyway. Thank you, Luke. About modern synthesizers. The vast majority of the time, I don't talk a lot about pianos. I don't talk about electric pianos very much. I don't talk about organs. So we're going to be referring to using the modern language, and this whole mess is the keybed. So I'm going to try and loosen this shot up just a little bit. So there we go. So I want to talk about this keybed, this particular keybed, because this is the keybed from an Op6. And we can talk about a little bit about the way it's made. I'm sorry I don't have the greatest camera angles on this, but I can kind of show you what's going on here. The way this thing works is we've got a plastic hinge point right here, and oh my, yeah, I guess I better check the not made for children thing, and the chat will go away and we'll be lost. No, we're not going to go there. So on this, we've got the stop here. This is what stops the key from going down any further. And this is a synth action keyboard. If we're gonna go there, quick quarantine it. So, Dr. Synth, welcome. So here is this little nubby thing there that you can barely see is the that's where the switch and the hall sensor is for the velocity on this, and then it all feeds into the gobbledygook on the bottom. Comes out these guys to plug into the motherboard. Now, so this is a synth action keyboard, and those of you who have played an Op6 or an original wave state, you know this is not great. So Korg, I haven't completely verified this, but I do know that Korg have changed the keyboard on the multi-poly. So from the appearances, without taking it apart, and I'm not going to take it apart for a while, I'm going to for appearances, these look the same. That's right. It's an absolute technical term, Craig. It goes right in there with astable multifibrillator and the 493 valve and the roller rectifier. Those are all highly technical terms, and I'll give lessons on those later if you would like. So this is a synth action keyboard. So you got your plastic keys. You know, there's a springy thing that makes them come back up. Very light, very fast. So the this keyboard or keybed thing could be very easily converted, or relatively easy if you've got the time and the patience to do it, converted to a semi-weighted keybed. And all you'd have to do that and improve the action on a wave state or an Op6 or a mod wave is get some consistent metal weights and glue them to the bottom of the keys right through here. It's a little more difficult to do the sharps and flats, but it's because you actually have to take everything apart to do it. But on this keybed, that's pretty simple. It's just a bunch of screws across the back. These lift off in groups. You glue the metal weights on there, put it back together, and or once the glue dries and it's all good and they're good, put it back together, plug it back in, and that should be it. This is proper synth geekery. That's right. So that's how to. Yeah, it's pretty standard. So that's okay, CVO. I know what you typed. I knew who you meant. So I did a little. I have not taken the multi-poly part. Not going to, but I suspect. Oh, okay. Yeah, you missed a thing. Now, Luke, I'll tell you what. If I'm going to trust, I will trust you with the blue spanner till the end of time. Who said that? Oh my! You did go there. So anyway. I may, for giggles and grins, focus on the lips. I may go there. I may try this and put one of the synths back together long enough to see if it plays. So Dr. Synth, yes, it is. It is better than this, but I suspect that to make it better than this, what they did as far as a new keybed is mostly putting weights on the bottom of the keys. Now, I don't have a problem with that. because a semi-weighted key bed is always, to me anyway, nicer to play than synth action. And so, you know, but yeah, my Op 6 and my let's see, my Op 6 and my wave state. Let me see if I remember what shot that is. I think that's 9 now. Are, you know, have been modified and are, nope, it's not shot 9. Oops. Oh well. Anyway, so mine are in cases now, and they're mounted up on the. I'll go back and do this manually. They're mounted up on the stand here, and they're driven MIDI. Okay, that's far enough. Far enough. Wrong shot. I'll learn how this PTZ camera works eventually. There we go. Spin back. Spin back. Okay, I'm going to take you guys for a ride. Let's see. Let's go there, and that's the wrong set of shots. There we go. It's pretty dark up there too, but you can see that, you know, there's my wave state and my Op 6 mounted up. And as we talked during the my impressions video on the multi-poly, the way they've designed the new the multi-poly, you can't, these cases won't work. They've completely redone the case metal, which is fine. Like I said, it's playable now. I would say, let's see, if I were going to compare it to another keyboard that I've played, I would say they've made it similar to, it's very similar. The keyboard or the keybed on the multi-poly keyboard, whatever you want to call it, the thing with the keys on it, is very similar to the Gaia 2. I think. It's been a while since I played one, but I think that would be pretty close, a pretty close parallel. Oh, really? Getting my show notes back up, and which I do on the phone, and the new phone is not cooperating entirely. Okay, there we go. So anyway, let's see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, play by way through. I usually use, I usually use this, my Control S, to play most everything, because of the polyphonic aftertouch, and I'm a nut for polyphonic aftertouch. But I also do play it with the Keylab. Oh geez, what's going on here? 20% watch, 80% yap. Yeah, what can I say? That's what we're here for. Module versions could enter your radar scam. Oh yeah. So the module there are module versions out already from Korg for the Op 6 wave state and mod wave. I haven't heard anything about whether they're going to do one for the multi-poly. I come in here every day, and it's like, I always no, I hadn't planned to, Paul. But that said, everything that's on the screen now and everything that's over to the left that's not on the screen is let's see, let's push I'm going to take you guys for a ride again. Hang on. So everything that's on the screen here is, it's not leaving this room, at least for the time being. And the multi-poly, which is over there, that's not going anywhere, except maybe going in its gig bag to go down to Paul's on Sunday. We'll see what I decide to take. We will see. Yep, that's what I do, man. I get that. And where's Wabbit, man? He's like all over those camera moves. Where are you, dude? So anyway, my robot chicken chrome, like racks of what? What is going on out there? But Paul, here, I'll tell you what. I'll do a sled swap. I'll do a swap first. I shouldn't say this. If I'm gonna, because this leads into the next thing, the next topic. There's gonna be a synth sale coming up here for stuff that I don't use. It just doesn't make sense. I think somebody, Marilyn has the Wabbit timeout. Oh my. So there's some things here that I don't use. They just sit here on the shelf, and I would like I'd like to see other people have enjoyment out of them, and so I'm thinking the modal stuff is going to go. Maybe some other stuff. I'm going to do a yard sale. And Paul, I like the sleds, it's fun to play with, but I don't have room to bring it up here even on loansies. So that's that. So anyway, the multi-poly more than takes the functionality of this guy. This is a great sounding little synthesizer. The Cobalts are great sounding virtual analogs, but I think the multi-poly blows it away. Even the full 8 voice just blows it away. Although the modal keyboards or keybeds are wonderful. They're amazing. Craig, part of my business is sales. It's what I do. So I've got so Andy, I've got the CraftSynth 2, and I've got the Skulpt as well, the Skulpt SE. They are very, very cool synthesizers. Don't get me wrong; they're very cool, and they sound great. And I did a little experiment here a couple weeks back. I took the 5S and this nearly antique Chromebook, and they're not fully back yet, Paul. The Chromebook can power the 5S can take power over USB. The Chromebook can power the itself and the Cobalt 5S for about 4.5-5 hours, and so that it does make for a really cool little portable thing to take to jams. So if I don't sell it, you'll probably see it some month, Paul. I don't know. But yeah, so they'll all USB power. It's kind of a drawback with the CraftSynth and the Skulpt, because they are not the best built. They're not the best built synthesizers on the planet. I will say that. And they rely. They do a thing that in engineering and manufacturing makes me crazy. The USB ports on them are the USB ports are the mechanical connection, and the electrical connection is just solder. So solder is fine, but for the electrical portion of it. But solder on a tiny solder pad, surface mount solder pad on a circuit board for a plug that gets plugged in and out all the time. It's not a good mechanical joint, and so what happens is those joints crack, and and ground gets lifted or partially lifted, and then you get the dreaded USB noise. Now, if you're running everything on a battery, it's usually not so bad, and the ASF welcome, and of course, the CraftSynth and the Skulpt can run off batteries, in which case they're dead silent unless they're being played. But I have found that in the right setup, like I use the if I use the Ciox power converter, which is very clean, and use its USB to power things, they've been pretty silent. But what was cool, all right, Wabbit, he's cheating on me. We'll have to have a chat. But for going out so someone asked what else I can do with the Chromebook with the Cobalt. Well, so of course they've got one of the really cool things about Modal is the apps that work with them, and so you can do all your setups, pull up your presets, whatever you want to do, all your settings on the fly very easily with the Chromebook and the thing. It works great as a little combo. So anyway, that's not where I was going, but there's going to there's some stuff here that's been sitting around too long that never gets used, and I'm going to probably put some stuff up for sale to make some space, and pay for some stuff. So that's that. Oh my, I there's some stuff going on there that I'm not sure I want to get into. So Jeff, yes, the Osmose, it does pull at me, but I don't know. I don't know the I don't know that I'm going to pull the trigger. I currently don't have any plans really to go much beyond where things are right now. I think that I'm pretty set. And part of me was thinking the other day, a guy could do really well with a decent controller and like the Control S and a multi-poly and a wave state and an op6. You've got all the major digital synthesizer methods covered, and emulations of all of the usual analog stuff covered, so it's you could and then some stuff in software. You could really do everything that you need to do in that setup. But I will never let my polybrute go. So the thing with the Control S though, it's got to get the multi poly or the Poly AT. You need to be using the Control S Mark III. You do need to be able to. You need to use some of Native Instruments software to take advantage of it. Wabbit, welcome. He got out of the hutch. Quasi Wabbit is in the house, though we don't sing songs. He's got his pants. Good to know. Did you bring the donuts? That's what I want to know. Answer your question. What did I miss here? And Andy, just to your point, as a controller, the Osmose is definitely worth it. It's I think, and we chatted about it the other night, I think, and all the things that we talked about over the course of the other morning. It is a wonderful keybed to play. But like you, I also like the rollies. I think they're fun. They're really fun to play as well. And that would be the Paul Andy, the Quasi Wabbit, the Elmer Fudd equivalent is the Wascally Wabbit. Oh, you Wascally Wabbit! You know, I don't do that as well as I used to. My voices aren't doing as well as they used to. So anyway, that was the donuts. Oh God. You know, this is getting out of hand already. This didn't last long. It did not take long to get completely out of hand. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Doug nuts. Oh, jeez. No, you know what? That Andy, it was great. It was, yes, I needed to go to sleep, but God. It was a great conversation, man, and so, you know, don't worry about it. It was, you know, it was a great conversation. Had a great time chatting with you. Save voice, play synths. I think my voice has been fine tonight, but yes, I think it's time to play synths. Yeah, and that's 10 to 9. We can do an hour show tonight. Although I know some folks just got here, but yeah, we can do an hour show tonight. Because, you know, I got to catch up on my sleep from the conversation I had with Andy the other night. So there we go. So we can do that. Yeah, well, there's that too. Oh, we're having a plot. The plot thickens, or the thought plickens. I'm not sure which. You know, the other thing we could do, we could all meet in Indiana. That would be fun too. So anyway, let's do it. I'm gonna play some more music. I'm gonna start the percussion back up, and yeah, that'd be great. Actually, that'd be fun. Yeah, everyone should come out. Everyone should come here for Electronica Fest. Absolutely. So I'm going to start spinning the cameras again, like this, and I'm going to play some music. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe we'll just go. I'll bring the lips to the. I'll bring the lips to the party, wherever the party is. that automatic moderation thing, guys, sorry, I may have clicked something that I shouldn't have clicked. I'll fix that later. Sorry about that, and sorry that's making you do the extra work there, Luke. Sorry. I'll fix it later. know what I realized? I realized that I forgot to go through and say what's in the jam. My gosh, I got thrown off from the very beginning, and you know, it's been a long time since I've played a wind instrument, Jeff. I used to play clarinet, sax, many, many years ago. Stop the camera spin. And so I don't know if I could still play a wind instrument. Come on, let me have control back. The joys of technology here. Doesn't want to give me control back yet. There's a script that runs and does the things. Oh, that's the wrong button. That's why. It's already on that shot. There we go. So, real quick, let's talk about some. There's that'll be trouble, man. That'll be serious trouble. So let's real quick talk about what's in the jam. We got the Polybrute, which I still think is the absolute best instrument anybody can own. Either the 6-voice or the 12-voice. There's not a better analog synthesizer made. There's no two ways about it. Hey, Paul, do you know Steve Kimball? He does sound and plays trumpet in, what's the name of that band? I can't remember, local band. The name of his band went right out of my head. But anyway, Polybrute. I love that. I just love that part there. That's so much fun. So we've also got, let's see, do I still have it on? It's better on here. We've got the Take 5. It's doing this wonderful thing. Let's see, next up we've got let's see, we did the Op 6 is doing this craziness. Finally, the Wave State is here playing this, which I didn't play very much tonight. I love that patch. That's a, I think that's a factory patch in the Wave State. And Craig, what you don't see is behind there, all the racks and everything. Anything out of camera shot, it's likely to be a disaster, Craig. But thank you. I do try and keep it at least. If I'm in a space that's like just constant mess, I can't work. It drives me crazy. And there's a rat's nest of cables over there behind the mixer rack. That tends to make me a little bit nuts as it is. It's not horrible, but it's not, it's not as good as it could be. I need to get in there and clean that up. Cable management is something that, cable management is something that, I do a lot of camera, a lot of AV and video system design and installation, and all of the systems that I install. When they go in new anyway, they're all nice and neat. Everything's tied up, labeled properly. Looks like a textbook installation. Now, some of the older installations that have been out there and we've been patching for years, they're kind of a mess, but not much you can do about that. Zero cable management in the Stark house. I would say, the extent of cable management here is that things are kind of grouped, and everything over there kind of hangs together, and all these things go that way together, and the other things go the other way together. I shouldn't do that. The other with this group. Again, open mat videos. I'll do a studio tour at some point. And we'll use the iPhone camera. I'll pre-record parts of it. But in your case, Paul, and I still got a couple more things in the mix here. But in your case, it's oh God, no. I learned to play Craig before I learned to make things neat. That's for sure. In your case, Paul, with the way you're set up, at least now, it actually makes a lot of sense for you. It makes a huge amount of sense for you to do it the way that you're doing it, and just pull things out as you want to use them and put them back. And I know Jeff does that some as well, because he doesn't have space to have all of his stuff out. So, some of his stuff is stored away, and if he needs it, he goes and gets it, or wants it, he goes and gets it, sets it up, does what he needs to do with it, and and so for some folks that works. For me, I like to be able to just sit down and the things that I want to play are ready for me to play, and I don't have to go searching for stuff or hook it up, because by that time, by the time I get it all hooked up, whatever inspiration I might have had is gone. Or the desire to sit down and do sound design, which I love to do, but if it's not at hand, then I don't do it. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. So last thing in the mix is the multi-poly. That's what I get for what? That's what Jeff gets for having a family and birds. Oh, that's right. Jeff's got birds too. That's right. He's got chickens. Ain't no one there but those chickens. And my birds are being really quiet tonight. I'm pretty surprised. So gonna get you guys dizzy. Gonna show you the picture of the last thing in the last thing in the rig. And there you get to see a little bit of the cable mess behind the mixer, behind the rack. So there you go. And some decorative antiques. A couple of interesting decorative antiques came up here. Let's see. Let's go to shot. Let's actually go to shot 9. Zunk. There it is. There's my multi-poly, my favorite. I'm going to play it from the Control S though. So anyway, that's all that was in the. Oh, then also in the jam tonight. Let's go back to there. Also in the jam tonight. Yep. Also in the jam, it's kind of just droning along, but my Porphyra. I've got an interesting Porphyra patch going. Porphyra is that VST, or that instrument for Contact 8 that I've been using, and it's a real fun one to play with. And then I've also got ZYKLOP loaded. It's basically half of Myth, which I've liked for. And I learned something new about ZYKLOP today, by the way. It's not strictly supported, but ZYKLOP can load Myth. You rename, put a different extension on the appropriate extension on the patch or the preset name, and you can load it into ZYKLOP, which is an interesting thing. It's not supported, and apparently it can get unstable, but you know, it's fun to play with, I guess. I may or may not try it. You know, I have both instruments, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. I would be interested to know though, if you load a Myth preset into ZYKLOP, since Myth has two of the irises, what would happen? The interface for Porphyra is purple. Why would I do well? The idea is that I guess you're asking about loading the Myth patches in Porphyra. Oh yeah, if you had both, there's no reason to do it. I'm just curious as to what would happen. You know, what happens to a patch that's set up for Myth with both irises? What happens if you load it into ZYKLOP? So it'd be interesting to I had deep purple. Only in Tokyo. I'm curious. I guess the reason for doing that, Jeff, is you could if it works well and sounds reasonably close. You know, there are preset packs available for Myth, and you could conceivably load them in some fashion into ZYKLOP. I'm not sure what it would be like. It's a curious thing, and like I said, it's not supported. And the folks at Dawson say that it can get unstable if you do that. So you just have to not do it in a production environment, I guess, unless you know that it's going to work. Yeah. So this is the patch that's playing in Porphyra right now, and it's still in the system. It's still loaded from the other night when we were playing around with the Wavetable maker from those folks, Ocean Swift. So as far as Wavetable formats are concerned, most Wavetable synths today, and I say most because there are definite exceptions to this, but if you do a Wavetable with like 64 frames that are 1024 samples per frame and kick them out at 32 bits, most Wavetable synthesizers will be perfectly happy with them. I know that if you do that for yeah, right, we can't even get it. Well, yeah, exactly, we can't get one USB standard straight. There is sort of a standard, and like I know that, but what you end up with in some cases is you end up with things in different, off by an octave, and so it's so that's the caveat, I guess, if you want to have one, but they'll typically work. I know. Pigments can read almost anything you throw at it. Vital can read almost anything you throw at it in some form or another. Vital is actually really cool. You can take a short snippet of any wave file and throw it in there and tell it that it's a tell Vital that it's a wavetable, and it will treat it as such, even if it's not, which is pretty cool. The first thing that I have come up with. The first thing that I've come up with that was super picky is the multi-poly, and it's the wavetables for that pretty much need to be 256 frames of 2048 samples at 32 bits or something like that. I think that's the jeez. Craig. Craig. Actually, they didn't. They finally did bury him up right side up, but it took 3 tries to get there. That's the deal. Yeah, put them in right. They didn't think it worked. Put them in upside down. That definitely didn't work. They put them back in. The third time it was finally right. So anyway, I think the USB-C. I think the USB-C connector is the best so far. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Andy. Interesting. Remember when ringtones were writing ringtones for Nokia? Oh wow, jeez. I never got into that. I just used whatever was in the phone. I'm not that. And I'm still that way. I'll choose one from what's in the phone, and that's going to be good enough. Okay. So I've USB-C on both ends. I've got it. Lots of stuff is that. USB-B, the full size B, is the full size B is unfortunately it's limited in speed by whatever artificial means they've limited speed, because the connector can certainly handle the high speed data. And so Jeff, why do you not like USB-C for non-handheld devices? Is it a So Verizon's got some weird things, that's for sure. Now I know who to blame. Oh, great! I know who to blame. And see, I think USB-C I feel much less risk of breaking that than some of the other USB connections. But yeah, like if you're connecting to a desktop computer or something, then USB-A connector is very robust. It's not going to break. The thing is that you can any one of these connectors can carry the data at any speed. It's just it's an artificial limitation that they've put on these things to say these connectors can only go this fast. It's, you know, it's just serial data. It's nothing from a technical standpoint. It's nothing. It's nothing crazy, you know. A lot of these connector changes, you know, a lot of these connector changes are just, or especially in the viral beats. Welcome. You know, a lot of these connector changes, especially on the B side, were to make them smaller. Is really what it's all about. You know, we needed smaller connectors for cell phones, and you know, the USB, the micro B, being so prevalent on things, you can blame the EU for that. That was, you know, they said all cell phones have to have a common connector, and for a while that common connector that they approved was USB micro B, which is probably the worst of all of them. It's the least, you know, it's the least substantial of all of them. I would rather have the mini B connector for a small USB B. But now I think they're going to force everything to C. Yeah, they preferred SCART in the old days, exactly. I don't know how you weren't subscribed to this channel either, Beats. My goodness. I'm assuming that you've corrected that, you know, and just, you know, to remind anybody else who's you know, here who isn't, you know, like, subscribe, do the things, visit my website too. You know, why not? Got, you know, all kinds. I got stuff there. So with the different video connectors, they've all got different capabilities and caveats. HDMI needs to be deleted. It is the worst, honestly. And I say that from the perspective of someone who's in the AV business. You know, there's just stupid things about HDMI, and that's a rant that I can mumble on for some time, and I don't really want to. But you know, one of the things that drives me crazy about HDMI is it doesn't allow for closed caption data. So if you want closed captioning on, if you've got, you know, your big HD TV and you've got your cable box which comes out HDMI, you can't use the caption decoder on the TV set. You have to use the caption decoder in the cable box, which usually sucks and doesn't work right, because, you know, our cable companies, at least here in the US, the cable companies are stupid and they don't know how to do it. SDI, so yeah, SDI is so HDMI. So here's the thing: HDMI cables can't be very long without them being specialty cables. You have to use active cables over. Well, I've seen passive cables as short as 15 feet give trouble depending on the scenario, or on the application. But typically over 25 feet in HDMI is you're going to need to switch to an active cable, which are very expensive. Yes, rant continues. You know, and Andy says SDI is best. SDI is great. However, Craig, realistically, 25 feet. This is the voice of experience speaking to you. And you know, we know that Jeff likes locking connectors. There are locking HDMI connectors. You know, SDI's got its limitations as well. The different SDI signals all have their limitations on distance. But the well, so so 25-foot HDMI, that's not going to be any problem. It's not going to be a problem. Every once in, or usually not going to be a problem. I have seen in certain instances where 15 feet falls down, you know, and but the you know, a 25-foot passive cable is going to be fine. Much above that, you're going to need to go active, and for reliability, you know. But HDMI is a whole cable full of compromise after compromise after compromise. SDI is best for signal, and great for audio. You can send 16 channels of digital audio along with high definition video down an SDI cable, you know. With no loss, and up to certain distances, and different kinds of cable. You know, different kinds of cable have different lengths. Go guys, go have a great dinner. See you all. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Love you guys. And hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you guys some tomorrow. So yeah, right, because we're all coming over for dinner. You know. Jeff, exactly. You know, and you know, and you get a crappy shielded cable where the shielding is crappy. That's going to play into it. You know, it's all those things. So, you know, let's see, what was the comment about Blackmagic? So Blackmagic is like the. Yeah. So I mean, SDI's great. The you know, and Blackmagic is like the Behringer of the video industry, you know. But you know, I some of their stuff I really like, and I use it a lot. My video switcher is a Blackmagic, both of them actually. And you know, I could not afford to do the video stuff that I do in hardware if it weren't for Blackmagic. And yeah, that's the other thing is you know, the cable, Craig, the installation of the connector is, you know, if it's not installed properly, it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to be a problem. You know, it could be the best cable in the world. But you know, so we do a lot of stuff, or I do a lot of stuff. There's a particular cable that Belden makes that's very thin, very flexible, you know, but it's limited somewhat in its cable length. I can only go about about 300 feet, I think it is, for 1080p 60 on that cable. But most of the runs that I'm doing aren't any longer than that. If I go longer than that, I go fiber. So yeah, Blackmagic is the Behringer of the video industry, or was. The thing with Blackmagic is that there's some things that they do very, very, very well and always have, and you know, they do and then there's other things that just don't work well, and you know, it's like I don't know why their quality control is not what it could be, and that's really what it gets down to. But you know, the stuff that I have has worked well. I do have it installed in a lot of facilities in the area, and it works well most of the time. So they've gotten better, like Behringer. So you know, same. I'm trying to think if there was. Yeah. So that was a tangent. We're good at that. If you have to cross the ball. So, you know, if you're trash. So I'll tell you, if you've got proper, if the cables are proper, Craig, and the are properly shielded, you can run parallel. It doesn't really make. My rule is try and stay about 6 inches away, unless it's a very high current power cable. If you parallel about 6 inches off, most of the time you won't have any problems with a properly shielded video or audio cable. A lot of those cables, like Mogami and Monster and all those things, it's just hype. You know, and Craig, most cables made today are just fine. You can do it all day long. And by saying cables made today, I'm talking the last 35 years. You know, so it's not the issue that it once was. It really isn't. And as Jeff says, there's filtering. There's good filtering in there. It's not the issue that it once was. And it used to be. The bigger issue is still running into ground loops. That's just, you know, that can be the bane of everybody's existence. Canair Star Quad, oh my gosh, that is the most wonderful cable, though. You know, that is but yeah, you don't need Monster, you don't need Mogami, you don't really need Star Quad either. You know, the Canair's regular cable is excellent. Belden's cables are good, are very, very good. You know, even the Hosa's stuff is pretty good. It has gotten better. Hosa's stuff used to be garbage. It really was. But it was cool. Yes, those gold USB cables. Oh my gosh. Oh my. There are instances though where, you know, the gold plated connectors or the gold stuff is advantageous. But mostly it's that's hype as well. You know. So yeah, Hosa has come a long way. It's like I used to go in the stores, like a Guitar Center or wherever, and see a rack of Hosa cables and go the other way. You know, Radio Shack used to make some really good stuff, and a lot of it is still available through Radio Shack online. The Tandy Electronics warehouse is still in business. And you can still go to Radio Shack online and buy stuff. Yeah, I mean it's useful for corrosion, and if you're in an environment where, something has to be. Where you can't get to something for a long time, you're not going to be able to get to something to maintain it, and it's in a corrosive environment, then that's where the gold-plated connectors really do work. And we've got questions, they've got answers, not necessarily the right answers, but they've got answers. You know, and it's realistic. So here's a thing, you know, before there was realistic, well, not necessarily before, but a competitor to Radio Shack, and their line of realistic stuff is this gem. I don't know if any of you have ever seen one of these before, but this is a Realtone AM/FM shortwave receiver. With its little thing. So anyway, fun This got dug up from my parents' house. This radio was a huge part of my childhood, and now it actually functions, but now it's studio decor. So a lot of the Optimus stuff was made by RCA, and a lot of the realistic receivers and stereo equipment was made by Pioneer, and also by Hitachi, I believe. But I know a lot of it was Pioneer. The high-end stuff, a lot of the high-end stuff was Pioneer. It was funny. You could go into a Radio Shack store and look down on the top of the cooling vents, and it said Pioneer all over the circuit boards and everything. You know, some of the Optimus and realistic speakers are very well regarded. You know, before the Optimus line, there was the real, you know, there was still realistic, and the Mach 1s and the Minimus 7s and Minimus 11s are excellent speakers. Thank you, I appreciate it, Luke. Thank you for coming. Thanks for keeping an eye on things. I do appreciate it. I'm probably going to leave you with the spanner, and I'll probably get some other people too, just to now that we know that may be a problem. I do appreciate it. Thanks for coming. We'll see you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And no, I'll find somebody else. No, or I'll just shut down. That's the other thing I can do. You know, I got no qualms about pulling the plug if it gets too crazy. So, and anyway, I am gonna probably pull the plug. Pretty quick. Probably make some more musical noise and do my usual closeout. I appreciate everyone for coming, and I appreciate that, Andy. I may go ahead and give you, may go ahead and click you with the blue spanner. Does that? So I've never done that. I've never had to do that before. And does that? If I do, I have to do that at the top of every stream, or can I set that up once and it's done? I don't know. But yeah, you know what? I'll do that now for now, because you're a decent sort. Let's see. Where is it? Add as moderator, and yes, we're going to give you the one that lets you manage the block words as well. There we go. All right. So now Synth Addict has the blue spanner, or will eventually. So anyway, I did do that correctly, I hope. Probably gave it to the wrong person, knowing me. Yeah. Yeah. So it's you know it's crazy when you get I've got a what a whopping 270 subscribers, and I'm now famous or something, or is it infamous? That could be it. I could be infamous. So anyway, guys, thank you all for coming. Yep, I got you. The question will be whether it sticks, so to speak, for the next time. But thank you guys for coming. Got to play some more music, and then I'll call it an evening, and crawl off to bed. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Oh, one thing real quick before I go. Andy, just so you know, tonight, what I've been doing, so I give him the spanner, and he's going to run away. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. So anyway, I've been switching back and forth tonight between D minor and D dorian, just so you know.